Well, it's really fun, and you get to meet so many famous stars. Shannen Doherty and Jennie Garth were supposed to be best friends on Beverly Hills 90210, but behind the scenes, it was anything but friendly. It started with simple pranks. Jennie would pull down crew members' pants for laughs. Shannen retaliated with something worse. She lifted Jennie's skirt on set, exposing her underwear to everyone. The jokes got meaner over time, and eventually, they fought physically on the Peach Pit set, and security had to separate them. What followed shocked everyone. Their 30-year feud would reveal truths that changed everything people thought they knew. Shannen Maria Doherty was born on April 12, 1971, at 5:23 p.m. in a small hospital in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. Her mother, Rosa, ran a beauty parlor and was a strict Southern Baptist, while her father, Tom, worked in banking. Their household was organized around manners, rules, and Sunday church. Her family background included Irish, English, Scottish, and French ancestry, all blended into the Southern culture of Memphis. Rosa had a keen eye for style and a warm way of speaking. She would take little Shannen shopping for Sunday dresses, turning it into a weekly ritual. Her early years were shaped by respect, structure, and family routines that stayed with her. When Shannen was 2, the family moved briefly to Palm Springs, California, because of her father's job. The city was bright, sunny, and full of movie posters and flashy shops. She wandered the Palm Springs Mall with her mother, staring at film ads and dreaming of something she didn't fully understand yet. They lived modestly on West Granada Street. Her father's bank job paid the bills but left no room for luxuries. Even then, Shannen stood out. Neighbors remembered her organizing games at the park like a tiny general. It was in these parks that she first became close enough to Hollywood to imagine being part of it. In 1978, the family moved permanently as her father expanded his transportation business and they settled in Los Angeles, in Palos Verdes. Shannen started at Valmonte Elementary. Her mother noticed her love for performing and encouraged her to join local church plays, often turning their garage into a rehearsal space. Rosa drove her to auditions, helped her memorize lines, and supported her from the sidelines. At the age of 10, Shannen got her first real break. In 1981, she appeared in a 2-part NBC special called Father Murphy, playing a lively orphan. The show was filmed at Culver Studios, and producer Michael Landon saw potential in her. He taught her how to behave professionally on set and warned her about the darker side of the industry. His guidance remained with her for years. Shannen was enrolled at Les France de Los Angeles, a strict bilingual school known for challenging classes and celebrity students like Jodie Foster and Claire Danes. She balanced her French studies with secret script reading under her desk. She graduated in 1989 with honors, ranking in the top 5% of her class. Most days she stayed late after school rehearsing lines. Sometimes, filming caused her to miss events like graduation, but she always returned to claim what she had earned. That school taught her discipline and exposed her to different cultures, which broadened her perspective. At home, she had an older brother, Sean, born in 1967. He was protective, 5 years older, and while he teased her acting dreams, he never mocked them. When kids bullied her, he defended her. They spent hours in the park playing their own imaginative games. Even after Shannen became famous, Sean remained one of the few people she could completely trust. By the end of 1981, her work on Father Murphy had gained attention, and Landon continued mentoring her quietly. In 1982, she was cast as Jennie Wilder in the final season of Little House on the Prairie. Her character, an orphan taken in after her parents' death, required emotional depth. Shannen, just 11, drew on her experiences of moving frequently and feeling uncertain. Her emotional performances, especially her crying, received praise from the crew. That same year, she voiced a character in the animated film The Secret of Nim, capturing a raw, innocent quality that fit the young mouse character perfectly. Although a small role, it was impactful. By 1984, even at 13, Shannen was being typecast in rebellious teenage roles, like in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She danced and smirked in scenes portraying a wild teen. She hadn't even turned 14 yet. In 1985, she appeared in an episode of Highway to Heaven called The Secret, playing a runaway teen. She drew on her personal experiences of moving and losing friends to play the part authentically. This performance caught the attention of producer Aaron Spelling, who was scouting talent for teen dramas. Shannen's quiet intensity made an impression. Around this time, she was considered for Mattel toy commercials, including Barbie, but her mother said no. Rosa had seen how child actors in the 1980s were often exploited or abused and didn't want Shannen to face those risks. That decision quietly protected her. By 1988, she played Heather Duke in the dark comedy Heathers. At 16, she shot a film that would define her image for years. The movie, released in March 1989, created controversy. Some countries banned it, and some theaters refused to show it. Critics debated it endlessly, but Shannen's performance stood out raw, sharp, and powerful alongside Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. By the end of that year, studio offers started pouring in. She auditioned for Beverly Hills 90210 in 1989, where over 200 girls tried out for the role of Brenda Walsh. Shannen got the part, softening her Memphis accent into a more Midwestern sound, which producers loved. She signed a pilot deal for $5,000 per episode. The show had no official name yet. Taping began quickly, and by October 1990, it aired. Overnight, she became Brenda to millions of viewers. Backstage, tensions were already high. Shannen clashed with co-stars, and producers complained that she didn't always follow rules, but she stood her ground. Before all this, in 1982, she had a small role in Ron Howard's Night Shift, at just 11 years old, chasing Henry Winkler's character in a chaotic scene that made it to the final cut. By 1987, gossip columns described her as feisty. While still in high school, she had a guest role on 21 Jump Street in 1988 as Janine Deg Gray. Johnny Depp warned her about Hollywood parties, but she didn't always listen. She sneaked into clubs underage, drawn to the scene. Cameras loved her, but producers noticed her rebellious streak, which was real, not just for show. After Heathers, she signed with the William Morris Agency. At 17, she negotiated her first $100,000 film deal. Fame brought problems. Older co-stars harassed her, so she hired a bodyguard rather than a publicist or manager, even as a teenager. This decision made headlines and shifted industry conversations about protection for young actors. When Beverly Hills 90210 premiered on October 4, 1990, Shannen Doherty became famous overnight. The first season averaged 14.2 million viewers per episode. Teenagers across America saw themselves in Brenda Walsh, navigating crushes, family fights, peer pressure, and the glamorous yet strange world of Beverly Hills. The first episode, Class of Beverly Hills, introduced Brenda as smart, emotional, and quietly rebellious. She felt real, not like just another TV teen. When the show addressed deeper issues like race, poverty, and body image, it felt bigger than just a TV show. By the end of the first season, Beverly Hills 90210 had become a cultural blueprint, with Brenda Walsh at its heart. In 1991, Shannen received a Young Artist Award nomination for Best Young Actress. That recognition wasn't just for talent, it was for her on-screen chemistry with Jason Priestley, who played her twin brother Brandon. Their bond felt so real that fans wondered if they were siblings in real life. In truth, it came from Shannen's close relationship with her real brother, Sean, especially during difficult family times. Even in these early years of fame, the blend of her discipline, personal experiences, and protective family shaped who Shannen was, both on and off the screen, preparing her for the challenges and successes that would define her career. That closeness she shared with Jason Priestley, who played her on-screen brother Brandon, made every scene between Brenda and Brandon feel real. It wasn't scripted or forced, and audiences felt it. But by the second season in 1991, things started to shift. Brenda's storyline took a bold turn when she kissed Dylan McCary, played by Luke Perry, in a scene fans hadn't expected. Up until then, Brenda had been seen as the innocent girl, the moral compass of the show. But now she was taking risks, stepping into more complicated, grey areas. The kiss sparked a storm of reactions. Fans called the studio, some even protested outside the gates, and teen magazines couldn't get enough. Brenda was suddenly being seen as the bad girl of the show, and the writers leaned into that. Fan fiction boomed, letters poured in by the thousands, and people either loved her or hated her, but no one could ignore her. That moment marked the start of what fans later called the real Brenda era. On October 2, 1993, at just 21 years old, Shannen hosted Saturday Night Live. It was supposed to be a major achievement, a celebration of her rising fame. But the opening monologue fell flat. She stumbled, paused awkwardly, and some of her jokes didn't land. Yet she didn't give up. Later in the show, she parodied 90210, poking fun at herself in a skit that fans adored. That sketch became a cult moment, shared widely on VHS tapes, mailed across the country, and discussed in early fan newsletters. It was a mix of failure and triumph, reflecting who Shannen was at the time, famous too fast, a little raw, and still figuring out how to handle the spotlight. By 1992, she was making $35,000 per episode, which allowed her to buy her first home in Los Angeles. But success also brought challenges, especially over wardrobe. The show wanted Brenda to wear tight skirts and glamorous outfits, while Shannen argued that Brenda was grounded and should wear jeans. The disagreements were loud and personal, but Shannen refused to compromise. In an industry that often pushed young actresses into whatever looked best for ratings, her insistence on authenticity mattered. She was quietly setting boundaries that would outlast the series. That same year, the tension between her and Jennie Garth escalated. During the filming of Season 3, Jennie started Pants Down Day, a prank where she pulled down crew members' pants. When crew members complained, Shannen retaliated with Skirt Up Day, flipping Jennie's skirt to reveal her Calvin Klein underwear. What started as jokes turned into open hostility. The crew split into sides, and the tension built. Eventually, on the Peach Pit set, things exploded. Shannen confronted Jennie, voices rose, and it became physical. Brian Austin Green and Ian Ziering had to step in to separate them, and filming stopped for 2 hours. Producers held emergency meetings, and studio executives threatened both actresses with contract violations. After that day, any scenes involving both women had to be rewritten or avoided, schedules were shifted, and energy on set dropped. The media quickly caught wind of the feud. Tabloids called it the 90210 catfight, and crew members leaked gossip. Some labeled Jennie a diva, while others said Shannen was out of control. Aaron Spelling, fed up with the attention, banned both women from speaking about each other in interviews. Yet tension continued for years. Table reads were cold and awkward. Shannen often sat alone, while Jennie and Tori Spelling avoided eye contact. Production assistants even created complex filming schedules to keep them apart. Years later, in 2024, Shannen reflected on those days on her podcast, Let's Be Clear, while facing her terminal illness. She spoke with brutal honesty about the long 16-hour days, the pressures of fame at just 21, and the exhaustion. She admitted she had crossed a line with the prank but explained that she had been trying to survive in a difficult, overwhelming environment. She was scared and burnt out, and she handled things poorly, but she took responsibility for her actions. After the fight, friendships on set became clearly divided. Tori Spelling sided with Jennie, and Shannen found herself alone, eating in her trailer. To cope, she started requesting solo storylines that wouldn't require her to work with Jennie or Tori. That strategy gave rise to the Paris trip arc. Producers rewrote scripts to keep her separate from the others. Table reads were chilly, and Brenda's scenes became more isolated. By the end of Season 4, it was clear the situation couldn't continue. Sometimes Shannen's delays on set added 2 or even 3 extra hours to everyone's day, frustrating her castmates. The tension was obvious, but behind her behavior was a deeper story. She had married Ashley Hamilton in October 1993 and divorced him by April 1994. During that time, his drug addiction worsened, and Shannen worried about leaving him alone. She struggled to balance her personal life and her demanding job, and in the end, her career on 90210 slipped away. Season 4 of Beverly Hills 90210 was the show's highest-rated season, averaging 21.1 million viewers per week. Brenda's exit affected fans deeply. Her storyline ended with her moving to Minnesota, but the media attention didn't stop. Shannen told TV Guide that she wished someone had explained what was coming, believing it could have been handled better. She quietly resented how the show, built around the Walsh twins, allowed one of them to fade away while the other became central. After she left, Jennie Garth's character, Kelly Taylor, became the main focus, and some storylines even made Brenda look foolish for leaving. Shannen noticed this and didn't like it. The memories of the prank war on set with Jennie never truly disappeared. The skirt lift, the Calvin Klein boxers, the near fight, it all lingered. Both women later admitted they were intense Aries who never backed down, and being forced together on set for 14 to 16 hours a day made conflict almost inevitable. Shannen's last day on set was difficult. The only cast member she felt genuinely close to was Luke Perry. Their friendship went far beyond their Brenda and Dylan roles. When Luke died in 2019 at just 52 from a stroke, Shannen said she felt lost and deeply grateful for having known him. Their final scene in 1994 showed Brenda saying goodbye to Dylan with the line, "I won't be gone forever." It turned out to be true, as Shannen returned in the 2008 reboot, though the weight of that goodbye never left her. After leaving 90210, Shannen tried to focus on movies. In 1995, she took the lead role in Mallrats, a $6.1 million Universal Studios comedy directed by Kevin Smith. Studio head Tom Pollock called it the next Animal House and predicted $100 million at the box office. But the film only made $2.4 million overall, earning just $1 million in its opening weekend despite Shannen's top billing. She took the blame personally. The press labeled her box office poison, and for 2 years, she couldn't land a major film role. She later told Kevin Smith, "People acted like the movie failed because of me. It was completely on me." Her film career dried up almost overnight. In 1997, she made a short film called The Ticket, about domestic abuse, which drew from personal experiences. Some of the material came from real pain. Back in 1992, she had been cited for battery after a shoving match at the Roxbury Club, though no charges were filed. In 1996, she smashed a beer bottle on someone's car outside the Formosa Cafe, showing a side of her life marked by stress, anger, and the pressures of fame. This phase of her life reflected how early fame, personal challenges, and Hollywood pressures collided, shaping both her career and her personal journey in ways that were sometimes public, sometimes painful, and always intensely real. In 1997, Shannen pled no contest to vandalism. She was given 2 years of probation, ordered to pay $5,400 or complete 540 hours of community service, and had to attend anger management classes. Despite these challenges, her career wasn't over. In 1998, Aaron Spelling gave her another opportunity with the show Charmed. She played Prue Halliwell and earned $75,000 per episode, even directing 3 episodes herself. But behind the scenes, problems emerged again. Alyssa Milano grew frustrated and eventually hired a mediator. By 2001, the tension reached a breaking point. Milano gave producers an ultimatum: either Shannen was gone, or she would walk and threaten legal action for a hostile work environment. Shannen and Holly Marie Combs refused mediation. Eventually, Shannen was fired, though for years her representatives claimed she had left voluntarily. The truth came out in 2023 when Combs discussed it on Shannen's podcast. Her personal life was equally turbulent. She married Ashley Hamilton at 22 in September 1993. He was the son of actor George Hamilton and was already struggling with drug addiction. Shannen believed she was building a life but quickly found herself in a dangerous situation. Hamilton's addiction worsened, he would vanish to get drugs, and when he returned, he could be violent. Shannen lived in fear, not knowing what might happen if she stayed or left. At the same time, her father was gravely ill. She didn't share any of this with her co-stars or producers, but the chaos spilled over onto the Beverly Hills 90210 set. She began showing up late, which pushed the cast into brutal 17-hour days instead of the usual 14. In 1994, just 9 months after the wedding, she was fired from the show, and her marriage ended as well. Years later, she admitted it was largely self-inflicted, saying she never blamed the show. In 2002, Shannen married poker player Rick Salomon. Their marriage lasted less than 9 months before being annulled in 2003. Soon after, Salomon became infamous for a 2003 sex tape with Paris Hilton, filmed while he was still involved with Shannen. He sued Hilton's family for $10 million, claiming misrepresentation, while Hilton countersued for $30 million over emotional distress. The scandal dragged Shannen's name into headlines, though she was trying to rebuild her career. She said Salomon's addiction had destroyed their short marriage, and she didn't want the attention the scandal brought, but it became impossible to avoid. On December 28, 2000, at 3 a.m., CHP officers pulled Shannen over on the Ventura Freeway near Thousand Oaks. She was 29 and driving a black Ford pickup, weaving between lanes. She refused a breathalyzer, and a blood test revealed a 0.13% alcohol level, well above the legal limit of 0.08. The judge could have sent her to jail, but instead, she was sentenced to 5 days in a work release program, 3 years of probation, and community service. She gave talks to teens about the dangers of drunk driving. Her bail could have been $2,500, but she was released on her own recognizance. Despite this, tabloids labeled her the wild child, reinforcing the image that she was a party girl who couldn't be trusted on or off screen. Her third marriage was to celebrity photographer Curtis Areno in 2011, after meeting him in 2008. Their wedding aired on her reality show Shannen Says, which seemed like a fresh start. But in January 2023, during the most challenging period of her life, she separated from him. By April, she filed for divorce while battling stage 4 cancer that had spread to her brain. Court documents revealed that he had abandoned her during treatment, and she accused him of dragging out the divorce to avoid spousal support. There was no prenup, no children, only pain. She didn't want the divorce, but felt she had no choice. The settlement was signed on July 12, 2024, and her ex signed on July 13, the day she died. The divorce was officially granted 2 days after her passing at 53. After being fired from Charmed in 2001, her reputation suffered. Rumors claimed Alyssa Milano had threatened legal action over a hostile workplace, and some producers began to distance themselves from Shannen. She even turned down cameo roles, like in Scary Movie, because no one wanted to take a risk. Yet Kevin Smith supported her, casting her in Mallrats in 1995 and later in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back in 2001, where she voiced herself. That support showed not everyone had abandoned her. Her health battles began in March 2015, when she was diagnosed with cancer at 44, already spread to a lymph node. She didn't have insurance because her management company, Tanner Mainstain Glenn & Johnson, had failed to pay her Siggy medical premiums in 2013 and dropped her as a client in 2014 without informing her. She couldn't see a doctor until 2015, and by then, the cancer required chemotherapy, immunotherapy, and radiation. She sued the company, claiming their negligence delayed early detection, and settled in August 2016. By April 2017, she was in remission, but she admitted the fear of recurrence never left her. In 2017, she had reconstructive surgery with support from the Farrah Fawcett Foundation. In winter 2019, while filming Beverly Hills 90210, she learned the cancer had returned, now stage 4. She kept it secret except from Brian Austin Green and continued filming, determined to prove life didn't stop at stage 4. By January 2023, a CT scan revealed the cancer had reached her brain, and she began radiation on January 12. She posted a video in June showing her fitted for the immobilization mask, which she hated, saying, "My fear is obvious." By November, the cancer had spread to her bones. In January 2024, a new infusion treatment gave her hope, breaking through the blood-brain barrier. Even in pain, she kept working. In 2021, she starred in 2 Lifetime movies, Dying to Belong and List of a Lifetime, airing back-to-back in October. She also directed content for Lifetime's Stop Breast Cancer for Life campaign, working with mostly female crews. The lead character had triple-negative breast cancer, and Shannen poured her real-life experiences into the work. By May 2024, she had reconciled with Jennie Garth. On her podcast, Let's Be Clear, Shannen said they saw each other at conventions and laughed together. Their 1990s feud over pranks had turned into a genuine friendship decades later. Jennie supported Shannen during her hospital stays, which Shannen called full circle healing. Despite online rumors about a supposed blacklist, there was never proof. Shannen admitted in January 2024 that her firing had been due to her own issues, not Jennie. Jennie confirmed this, stating Shannen had never hurt her career. Shannen and Jennie finally had honest conversations in 2019 during a Beverly Hills 90210 reunion. By September 2023, at a 90s convention in Tampa, Shannen walked on stage to a standing ovation, with Jennie beside her. By May 2024, Shannen told her listeners they were completely at peace. On July 13, 2024, Shannen Doherty passed away at 53, peacefully, surrounded by loved ones and her dog, Bowie. Jennie posted 2 old photos from the set, expressing her grief and calling Shannen one of the strongest people she had ever known. She said they had often been pit against each other, but it was never true, calling Shannen courageous, passionate, and generous. Even knowing her cancer was terminal, Shannen had an energy that made it hard to believe she would die. Shannen Doherty's life was filled with triumphs, struggles, scandals, and resilience. From child star to television icon, from feuds to reconciliation, and from health battles to advocacy, her story was one of talent, perseverance, and an enduring impact on fans and friends alike.